Bloomberg Audio Studios.
Podcasts, radio, news.
Single best idea, two important insights from a wonderful economist, and then Geoffrey Yu will join us here on the currency market that we're seeing. Let me set that up right now. In that it's a sleepy August, but one thing we've really seen the last 10, 12 days is dollar weakness. And it's with a vengeance. And it's really true off the Pacific Rim. We'll get to that with Jeff Yu here in a moment. Who's the most influential economist in America right now? Without question, people would say Claudia Sahm. And the Sahm rule, loved having her on right at that moment when the Jobs Day numbers came out. And she made real clear the Sahm rule in some way, shape, or form is in effect. Raging debate right now among economics. Quietly, Anna Wong, the chief economist for Bloomberg Economics, has become definitive, looking first at something called the birth-death model, and then looking simply at revisions that show a less rosy American labor economy. Here is Dr. Wong on jobs.
I think in real time, Tom, even though the payrolls, the July payroll is 114,000, I think eventually it is going to be revised down very, very close to zero. We're going to get a lot of incremental revisions in the next few months. And note that the response rate for the July payroll is very low. It was under 60%. It was one of the lowest July response rates since the 1990s. So I think that by the end of this year, we would probably have a good idea that the payrolls in July was much weaker. In fact, the April 2024 payroll would be even weaker and possibly very close to zero.
Anna Wong, just stunning there on the shift that we may see in the revisions to our labor economy. This is something special. Anna Wong, of course, has worked at the White House, CEA, worked at Treasury, worked at the Fed, lots of Washington experience. I haven't heard this in, what have I been doing this, 3 or 4 years? I have never heard this from any form of economics type. Here is Anna Wong of the influence of Jan Hatzius and the team at Goldman Sachs.
I think they're certainly paying a lot of attention to this. And, having worked in the government in both Echo's building and the Treasury building and the White House building, I would say that the firm that has the biggest influence in the federal government is Goldman Sachs. So as long as Goldman Sachs
you're willing to say that? You're willing to, whoa, this is important. You're willing to say that Jan Hatzius is a closet governor of the Federal Reserve System?
I think it's a fact, Tom. We have to acknowledge the fact, and so I think that Goldman does have a disproportionate influence on how government thinks about things. So, yeah, the Fed will be paying attention to this.
Anna Wong, always entertaining, and of course, we'll continue to follow her economics at Bloomberg. Geoffrey Yu stopped by today with BNY Mellon. Jeff Yu, just incredible concision, his correlations of economics, finance, investment, and indeed international relations are really, really extraordinary. We've had a dollar move, dollar weaker, Korean won stronger is one example on the Pacific Rim. Jeff Yu on a movable dollar.
I look at against dollar yen, we still see much lower, 130 handle at least towards the end of the year. Dollar against APAC, outside of dollar CNY, by the way, because there's a difference in terms of policy, a difference in policy differentials. I took a look at dollar Korea, dollar Taiwan. I think those are areas where I still want to sell the dollar. Dollar LATAM is going to be an interesting one because the carry trade is still in place. As much as I look at Mexico, Banxico, very credible in terms of keeping real rates high, but that trade is already well owned. So despite fundamentals, probably dollar will be stable, if not slightly higher, against LATAM FX up ahead. But euro dollar still calling it lower. Last parity probably a bit too much. So let's go for 105 at least.
Geoffrey Yu, BNY Mellon, and of course, just after this interview, he was 7-ish this morning. At 9-ish this morning, we had a print stronger euro through 110, 111, 1.11. Yu suggesting at some point we'll go the other way from 111 euro down to weaker euro 105. We shall see. There, I got it out. Seashells. Remember this? I could never do the seashells thing as well. We're out on Android Auto, on Apple CarPlay, on YouTube. Just thrilled to sign up. Subscribe to Bloomberg Podcast. You go to YouTube. You subscribe to Bloomberg Podcasts. You get Kaylee Lines. Thank you, Kaylee, for joining today from Chicago. Joe Matthew. The Carol Masser Hour with Tim Stanovic in the afternoon. Maybe the market will go down today. We'll have to see. Eight straight days up in a row. Really, really extraordinary. On Apple Podcasts, this is Single Best Idea.